What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 12. Let's get right into it and let's talk about Alexis and Justin. So, Alexis and Justin, their main issue is that quite often, because there is some contention on whether it's every single weekend or not, but quite often Alexis likes to go to the clubs with her girls. Justin has a problem with this because he would prefer for her to stay home with him on the weekends, and he wants to spend time with his wife. I'm assuming they both work during the week, and so he's looking forward to the weekend to spend time with his wife. Alexis instead wants to go hang out at her friend with her friends, whether it's at the club, which he to him is just unacceptable, or anywhere else, which to him it's fine if you want to hang out with your friends, but give him some time as well on the weekends. So that's our main issue. Alexis stresses time and time again throughout the episode that her friends are important to her. She likes to spend time with her friends. She likes to have fun, meaning that spending time with Justin is not important to her, and spending time with Justin is not fun because you're newlyweds and you're trying to make this marriage work, or so that's how you want us to believe that you want this marriage to work. And if your husband is expressing a concern, you would want to try to fix that problem, not necessarily bend over completely to do as he what he wants you to do, but to sort of have like a compromise. And from what I heard coming out of Justin's mouth, he wanted more of a compromise. He told her, I understand that you want to be with your friends. I don't have a problem with you wanting to be with your friends, but we have to have some type of a balance. Every time he would talk about a balance, every time he would talk about possibly compromising, she kind of twisted that as in, well, when we got married, in your vows, you said you wanted me to be free. And I don't think that's what he meant. And Alexis, you know that's what he meant. Nobody even has to explain to you what this man meant when he said that he wants you to be yourself. He wants you to be free. He wants you to express yourself however you want to express yourself. You know what he meant by that. He meant that he's not going to try to change you as a person. He's not going to try to control you. He's not going to try to contain you in any kind of way. He's not going to tell you what to do. He wants you to have a lot of freedom, but within the confines of what? A marriage. And you hanging out with your friends every single weekend, sometimes regardless of what you're doing, doesn't even matter, but you hanging out with your friends every single weekend is beginning to interfere with your marriage. And I don't believe that if you're spending more time with your friends than with your husband, then we have a problem. So let's talk about specifically the club scene. I don't think that any married woman should, or any married man should be at a nightclub or bar without their spouse, especially if they have a spouse that is waiting for them at home and that spouse wants to spend time with them. I think that the club scene, the bar scene, absolutely no, because that's not where you would expect to see a happily married woman. Okay? You don't expect to see a happily married woman in the middle of a club twerking, getting down, doing whatever, or expect to see a happily married woman at a bar. I don't think those are places where you expect to see these people. Now, if it's that kind of a marriage where on the weekends it's kind of like understood, well, you go do your thing and I'm gonna go do my thing and then we'll meet up in the middle, or you do your thing and I'll go do my thing and then we'll meet up tomorrow morning. Okay, fine. But that's not the kind of marriage that Alexis has. Alexis has a husband who is wanting more time with her. After both of them working all week, he's looking forward to the weekend to spend more time or some time, some quality time with his wife. Y'all are newlyweds. And Alexis, my dear, if this is not your cup of tea, if Justin just ain't your thing, then just, I don't understand why people cannot be honest and say, you know what? Let's have a meeting with the experts because I don't think this is going to work out. I don't see a future with you. I don't want to be with you. You're a great guy, but just not for me. And then end it. And end it already. I don't understand why we can't do that. Why is that prohibited on this show? Because I understand that the experts are constantly encouraging people to work out their problems and you're in a marriage and a legally binding marriage. I understand all of that. But if it was like all like written it in cement and that no one had a choice, we wouldn't even bother with decision day. It would just be, okay, y'all are married forever and that's it. But there's decision day in case you don't want to be together, or you decide not to be together. So Alexis has never seen it for Justin. I don't think she was ever into him from day one. I think at the beginning, she enjoyed all the attention he gave her, and she enjoyed how he put her on this pedestal. I think she enjoyed all of that in the very beginning. But I think as time went on, she lost interest. It wasn't exciting anymore. He was expecting something back. As long as he wasn't expecting much and he just wanted to make her happy, just wanted to please her, she was cool with that. But I think when he was expecting some type of reciprocation back, that's when she was like, yeah, I'd rather hang out with my friends every weekend. When all the guys hang out together at the end, Justin tells them that he talks about Alexis wanting to, go out every single weekend with her friends. And then he also said that every time he tries to be intimate with her, she doesn't really respond. She doesn't really want to participate or anything like that. And I understand that that's probably has a lot to do with him being down. And he's probably not expecting, like full blown like intimacy, but he's expecting some type of physical affection. And I don't think she's giving him that. I don't think she is. Like when the cameras are gone and everybody else is gone and they're not filming or they're not recording and it's just the two of them alone. I think he's expecting some type of, physical connection with her. And I don't think she's willing to give that. I think she might, want to cuddle with him and kiss on him on camera. But I don't think she really wants to do it when it's just the two of them, when it's real. I don't think she wants to do it. So she reminds me a lot of last season when they were in Boston, when it was with Chris and the one who shall not be named. How no, it doesn't. She doesn't remind me of them. What I'm trying to say is I feel like maybe Alexis had watched that season and she saw how the one who shall not be named got barbecued on social media. And I think Alexis wants none of that. And I think that Alexis is trying really hard to not look like the bad guy, to not look like the spouse that doesn't want to be with their mate. Because I see that I feel like she is expecting Justin to be the one maybe to call it off or to break it off or to be the one to kind of distance himself or isolate himself from her so that she doesn't come across as the bad guy, because Justin is a good guy. There's really no reason why it shouldn't work with a guy like him, other than she's just not into him. But on paper, there should be no reason why it shouldn't work with a guy like him. And so she probably understands that he's probably going to be liked by the public because he's such a great guy. He's funny, he's charismatic. He's not, he loves her. He gives her attention. He wants to be with her. He's doing all the right things. And she's probably going to come across looking like the mean one if she is the kind of woman that wants to push him away and doesn't want to live with him and wants to isolate herself from him. So I think that Alexis is going to go through the motions to a certain point. And I think that she's going to throw him a little bit of rope so that he could be the one to be like, oh, this isn't working, or I don't want to be with you. I think that's what she's expecting. I think that she does things. It's sort of like almost genius. I think the way that she kind of does things to seem like she's interested, she's in this, she's committed, she wants it to work out. And then at the same time, she's doing things to not lead him on or to give him a reason to not want to move forward with this, to give him a reason to not like her. I don't know how else to say it. It's very complicated. I don't even know if I'm explaining it correctly. Because when they were talking to Dr. Pia, and Dr. Pia, I think Justin had said something like, no, it was after she told him that Dr. Pia had asked her, do you see yourself like you're ready for marriage? And she says, yes, I know that I'm ready for marriage because I put up with things that I normally wouldn't. And then Dr. Pia asked her, are you ready to be married to him? And that's when I don't think she was expecting that question. I think she was kind of like giving herself a pat on the back that she answered the first question correctly. Like in her mind, she answered it correctly. When she said, Yeah, I'm ready to be married because I put up with a whole bunch of stuff that I normally wouldn't put up with. In a normal situation, I would have already left, but I'm still here. So obviously, I'm ready to be married. And then she says, "Are you married? Are you ready to be married to Justin?" And that's when she got tongue tied all of a sudden. She was like, "Well, yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so." So after she said that and he expressed how hurt he was, and she realized, wow, that did not come out the way I expected it to. I really hurt his feelings. When she realized the effects of her words, then she wants to play victim and talk about the damn dog. And then all of a sudden, she talks about, you know, um, with the dog, he broke my trust, with the whole dog situation, when his dog bit her dog and all this and that. And so then she wants to, oh, feel sorry for me because my poor dog was attacked and I'm still here. And Dr. Pia said, okay, yeah, you went through a lot, your dog was attacked, but he also went through a lot because he had to give up his dog. And Dr. Pia asked her, why haven't y'all been intimate yet? And that's when Alexis wanted to shut down the conversation, because the truth of the matter is she's not attracted to him. That is the real reason. But then when she can't finesse, she wants to shut it down completely. And now all of a sudden she says this conversation is not conducive to my mental health. So now she's saying these words, when someone says certain words, all of a sudden it's like the person listening has to kind of stop and say, oh, okay, they're going into an area that's very sensitive. So let's just shut this down right now. Let's not dig any deeper. So when you say things like my mental health, because mental health right now is extremely important, everybody's talking about mental health. So, oh, this is not conducive to my mental health. That kind of lets people know, don't ask me anymore because it's affecting my mental health and y'all don't want me to do anything drastic, do you? So, she says this conversation is not conducive to my mental health. It is becoming overbearing. She says, I feel isolated. I feel alone. I feel unheard by both of you. So now she's really dismissing the therapist because she knows that the therapist is on to her. And so she doesn't want the therapist to dig any further, to dig out the truth out of her. So now she wants to shut it down. And she lumps the therapist in with Justin, when the therapist is supposed to be like a separate third entity who is like objectively observing anything. But now she's personalizing it. She's making it personal now between her and the therapist, trying to distract the therapist with, oh, wow, she's got personal feelings against me. No, honey. No, honey. Your tactics are not going to work, Alexis, because we see it. It's obvious that you don't want Justin, that you're not attracted to Justin. And the thing that you need to realize, Alexis, it's okay. You just have to treat him with some humanity and some respect. You're not going to be seen as the bad guy because you didn't fall madly in love with a stranger that the experts put you with. No one's going to crucify you if you don't have an attraction to a really, really nice guy like Justin. It's okay. But these games that you're playing, that's what's going to be a problem. So she says that, so she's not done victimizing herself in that conversation, right? So after she lumps the therapist and Justin together and she shuts them down, she says, she goes back to, and the fact that he doesn't want me to hang out with my friends is absolutely obscene. Is it? It's obscene that your husband wants to spend time with you. It's really strange how you kind of twist things around, Alexis, to where it's no longer a man who just wants to spend time with his wife. Now it's this man who's overbearing and controlling and wants to tell you what to do. And he's not allowing you, he is not permitting you to have any fun at all with your friends. It's obscene the way that I cannot hang out with my friends. When the only thing the man said was, you know what, I'm not really crazy about you going out to the clubs. I ain't got no problem with brunches, parks, museums with your girls. I have no problem with that. The club thing, I have a problem with that. And I have a problem with you wanting to go out every single weekend. Justin then takes off his ring after she had said, I don't want to be married to him or whatever she said. And so Dr. Pia noticed that and I was like, okay, Justin, you taking off your rings. So that's like very symbolic, you by you doing that. It's kind of like just getting on his case, kind of like, that's a very drastic move. It's as if you're completely giving up on the marriage. You feel like there's absolutely no hope of fixing anything. Damn right, Dr. Pia. Yes, it's over. It's done. There's no way you can fix this. This woman already says she doesn't see herself being married to him. This woman has already, everything she says and does is screaming out, I don't want to be in this marriage. I don't want to be here. Him taking off his wedding ring and out of frustration, yes, that's it is. You're right, Dr. Pia. You're a gazillion doctorate degrees. Yes, helped you out to figure out what I figured it out, in an instant. Yes, to him it's over because she doesn't show any signs of any type of interest in pursuing a marriage with him after decision day. And he sees it and he knows it because he's not stupid. So Alexis then starts to backpedal after she very clearly had said, yeah, I don't see myself being married to him. Now she backpedals and says, when I said that, what I had meant was, I don't really see myself continuing in this marriage in this way that we're already going. So we need to take a different direction. Later on, it's time for their intimacy exercise, which I definitely afraid of watching because these two are not connecting. There's no chemistry. I thought they would spare us. Like, can we just spare us and let's not even assign them any type of a intimacy exercise? But they did, and the intimacy exercise was what she did was she danced for him on a pole, and she almost busted her head when she did that. But okay, so she danced for him, and I was like, what is going on here? Because you're going to do this to seduce him, but then nothing is going to happen at the end of the night. So why even bother? So then they do the blindfold exercise, and your partner puts on the blindfold, and then you're supposed to tell them positive, negative things about them, how you feel about them, or what you think about them. So she puts on the blindfold and Justin goes through all the positive things about her, how, whatever, all the positive stuff. She's beautiful, she's great, she's wonderful. And then when he had to get down to the nitty gritty, he says that he feels like he's number two. He says he feels like he's number two to her friends. Y'all, he said he feels like he's number two to her damn dog. He's number two to Newton. And he says that she never asked him how he felt about losing Maya. She wasn't concerned about his feelings. Yeah, because she doesn't care. She doesn't love him. I kind of doubt if she even likes him. He said that he still loves her, but moving forward, he's going to have to be a lot more cautious. Great answer. Alexis just says the positive things. The one thing that she said that I really didn't care for is when she says, if I can't make you happy, I can make someone else happy. Okay, just dig that knife a little bit deeper, Alexis, into his heart. Then she goes on to say that she's very grateful for the time that they spent together, which to me is like a farewell statement. And then she says his family is great. And, she just kept it really positive. And the reason why she did that, that's another manipulative tool that she uses. When she's like, I'm not going to say anything. Just like at the dinner, when they have the dinner, when she wore the pink leotard, when it came time, oh, let's talk about your marriage. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. And then she expects for him to receive that in a positive way when she intends to make him feel negative by saying that. That's her full intention when she's, I'm not going to say anything. There's no way that she's doing that because she wants to protect him or she wants to make him feel good. She's doing that because she knows it's going to piss him off and he's going to get upset. And then and she knows that he's a little bit hot tempered. Because when Justin gets going, he gets going, right? And she knows that he's probably going to get going. He's going to get emotional. He's either going to start crying or he's going to get really angry. And everybody's going to be like, oh my God, look at that big, bad, scary man. He's so mean to his wife. Everything is so intentional and manipulative with her. So in this situation, when she said all these positive things, or she perceives to be positive, but she says nothing negative. She says that The reason why she didn't say anything negative was because she didn't want to take the moment away from him, because he had poured his heart out. So she didn't want to steal his shine. She didn't want to take this moment away from him. She said that, and then she tells him, "Yeah, it isn't anything bad because I've already expressed to you everything that I felt, everything that I feel about the situation. I've already told you time and time again." Well, that wasn't the purpose of the exercise. It's this is like part of like y'all getting closer, getting to understand each other better. So this is like a different way to communicate what you've been feeling. Hopefully, so I can communicate more. But whatever, Alexis, you're done. You're over. I don't even know why anybody's pretending anything with the two of y'all, because now it's just a joke. So later, so then, okay, so I don't even, so they talk, so they go to whatever their group thing, the girls are the girls and the guys are the guys. And when they did the group thing, what did Alexis say about Justin? Alexis said that she had a vision of marriage being fun, always having fun together. Girl, what? And then she says that, she likes to hang out with her friends. And she says that she's tried to include him in her group outings with her girlfriends, but it just wasn't his scene, so he didn't want to go anymore. She says he wants to spend all of his time with me, and I feel like I'm on punishment. Words spoken by a woman who doesn't even like the man that they matched her with. And she doesn't see a single thing about Justin that she can latch on to find any interest in. She doesn't see there's nothing at all about Justin that she cares for. Nothing. Nothing at all. After decision day, they will never see, I doubt that they will ever see each other again. And if he has any type of self-esteem, he won't bother with this woman ever again after decision day. She says that she feels like she's on punishment for being with her husband. It feels like she's on punishment. And she says that she thought that marriage was supposed to be fun. No, everybody knows that. It's not like you're hanging out with your best friend every single day. I mean, okay, maybe for some people it is, but marriage does take work. It does take a lot of work, a lot of communication, a lot of openness, a lot of transparency. Marriage it requires work. For marriage to be fun and exciting every single damn day, it takes a lot of work for it to be that way. It takes a lot of work. The things that are important are going to require work. Being a parent is not fun every single day. There's work. There's sad days. There's good days. There's mad days. There's happy days. It's not every day. I just don't understand what planet she's on. Marriage requires work, especially a marriage where you're getting married to a stranger. Anyways, so I would be okay with her. Like I said, it's okay if she doesn't like him, if she's not interested in him. I just want her to be honest about it and stop with the mind games. Just be honest about what is really going on with how you feel about this man and how you want to move forward with. Be honest about it. So then later on, they have a fight. And I don't know, the producers are called or whatever. The producer shows up. And Alexis is upset about the things that Justin had said during the blindfold exercise. And so when he's open and honest, she uses it against him. It's like, "Oh, you're being mean to me. How can you say those things to me? But you say you don't want to be married to him and you don't want to spend any time with him, and hanging out with your friends is a lot better than hanging out with him. And he's supposed to just be happy about that." So she says, because of, the fact that he felt like he was second to her friend, second to her dog, and that he still loved her, but he's going to move forward more cautiously, and that she never really acknowledged, his feelings when he lost his dog. So I don't know what about that got her angry, but she was upset about the things that he said, and she just wants to fight. That's all. And so then Justin says that he really wasn't feeling her going out to the clubs. The producer has them sit down at the table to talk. Justin says he doesn't feel wanted. He says there's no intimacy between us. He mentions that, and so then she says to him, "So really, this is all about that because I'm not giving you any. You feel like you're not wanted because you're not getting any." And he says it's not just because I'm not getting any. He says it's because because we're not even exchanging the same energy. So even if there was that emotional intimacy, because you can go without the physical part of it and still feel very connected. And a lot of these couples have done that on Married at First Sight, where for whatever reason it wasn't the right time or whatever, but they still had that connection. They still had that intimacy. I mean, I think it's kind of similar to Stasha and Nate. They're intimate now. They've already consummated their marriage, but up until that moment, I felt like they shared a lot of intimate moments without going all the way. They did share some type of emotional connection, emotional intimacy, and then later they consummated their marriage. And I think that's happened with a lot of these couples, even with I can't remember their names, but it was the same season as Woody and Amani, the other black couple, Karen and I forgot his name. For the longest time, they didn't consummate their marriage. I think even up until decision day, they didn't consummate their marriage. But there was enough of a connection there for them to want to stay together. So, she knows exactly where Justin is coming from. It's not just because of that. We're not even exchanging the same energy. And girl, you know that. That's what aggravates me about her. She knows that. She knows that what he's saying is facts, but she just wants to argue, to be difficult, to give him another reason to want to stay away from her so that she doesn't have to do the work to make a closer connection with him. I'm so sick and tired of this. Let's move on. We've done with that. Let's move on to Kristen and Mitch. Kristen and Mitch, Dr. Pia comes over and then they have an exercise where the question is, what is your childhood? First of all, let's talk about their little incident. So Kristen has pumped the brakes on the intimacy part of their relationship. And she said that, one time when when they were being intimate, he made some type of a joke. And it turned her off so much that she was like, okay, no more. And then Mitch said that after he made that joke, no, they were still intimate after that. And he says after he made that joke, it was really awkward for him, because it made him very self-conscious for some reason. And then eventually they just stopped altogether. So that's where they're at. Dr. Pia comes over. There's an exercise that she wants them to do. And the exercise is, who was your childhood hero or heroine, and explain why. Mitch says, some superhero character from the comic books or something. And then Kristen says her mother. So after she talks about why her mother was her hero, Mitch questions what she said. And he's like, well, are you sure that, you felt this way when you were a kid? Because you're using present tense verbs or whatever he said. And so she got really upset. She started crying. And I was like, girl, is it that bad? Why are you crying? Is it because really of what he said, or is it because there's an underlying issue here? So she started crying because she was frustrated. She was like, you know what? It's really difficult for me to share that. What did she exactly say about her mom? I mean, why is that difficult to say that your mom was your hero? Why is that difficult to share? But it was really difficult for me to share that. And here you are questioning me or judging me or doubting what I'm saying or whatever she said. And yeah, it kills the moment when someone has shared something, glowing about their mother, and then here you are. You don't even like absorb what was said and appreciate what was said. Instead, you want to nitpick at what she said, and that can completely kill the moment. And he realized that what he did was wrong, and he apologized for that. And so then they talked about the whole intimacy thing and explained why. And so Dr. Pia was like, if you don't mind me asking, what was exactly said that ruined the moment? And he says he couldn't remember. And then she said, well, out of respect for my husband, I'm not going to say. But he couldn't even remember, though. How would you disrespect him if he said it? He can't even remember. It was to me, that makes me think that it wasn't even that crucial for him. But anyway, she didn't say it. I don't know if it was a joke about himself or a joke about her. Who knows? And so he was like, I'm the kind of guy, well, I have to lighten the mood. He's like, people take intimacy so seriously. Like in the movies, it's done a certain way and it's made to look like it's perfect and romantic and there's never any issues, never any problems. He's like, but in real life, real stuff happens and it's not that perfect. It doesn't run so smoothly. And so I was just trying to make I don't even know. I'm talking about something that I know nothing of because I have no idea what he said. And so because of that, she's like, then she says, but last week, Mitch was great. We were so emotionally connected and I want that Mitch back. And so I'm going to need that Mitch to come back for at least the next several weeks before we're intimate again. Okay, fine. And then they do their intimacy exercise, which, yeah, whatever it was, massages or something. And yeah, that was great. Then we go on to Stasha and Nate. Okay, so they talk about trust issues. And so Stasha talks about how, yeah, I don't really trust easily. And then Dr. Pia said, do you not trust because you feel like you're giving up control? And I guess that was the answer. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. So then she's going to have them do this exercise where she has to give up control to him and be able to trust him. And so the thing that they do for their intimacy exercise, y'all, to me, I just laughed throughout the whole entire scene because I'm sitting here watching these people do these things. And I'm thinking to myself, there's an entire camera crew there watching them. It was just, I don't know if I guess Nate felt really comfortable, and maybe because he likes to perform, but I thought Stasha was awkward. But anyways, I thought it was hilarious. I can't take that scene too seriously to even talk about. Okay, I just got to move on because I'm going to start cracking up here and this video will never get done. Then we move on to, let's talk about Lindy and Miguel. Lindy and Miguel, not much to say here, right? But this is one thing that I do. Oh, they got the baby. Okay, so they got the baby in the basket, the baby that cries on its own and stuff. And you have to find a way to comfort the baby. So it's supposed to mimic a real baby. So they got that. Well, I thought it was adorable that Miguel automatically took possession of the baby. I don't think I ever saw, oh, it was just that one time when I saw Lindy holding the baby. But Miguel was so comfortable holding the doll, and he was just great with the doll. He completely took over. And then the thing about them that kind of bothered me in this particular episode was how he's constantly saying these glowing things about the relationship and about Lindy. He says what we have is real, and he's living his best love story. Who says that in real life? I'm living my best love story. I mean, he says it like he's a romance novelist. It just doesn't sound realistic. It's like when he was like, yeah, she's a hot babe. When he read that letter last week to his childhood self, and he was telling his childhood self, and when you grow up, you're going to meet a hot babe. It just doesn't sound realistic. I don't think that's really part of his vocabulary. I don't know. And the more he talks like this, it makes me really wonder, Miguel, are you trying to convince yourself, or are you trying to convince us that this relationship is what you're describing? Because I don't see it, hun. I just don't see it. Moving on to Ben and Morgan. They're not living together. They're separated. Morgan comes over with her nurse's scrubs because she's going to let everybody know I'm a damn nurse. Okay. I live in these scrubs. I'm a damn nurse. So she comes over and we're still talking about whatever the hell he said to Justin. We know what he said the first time. I don't know what he said the second time. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. I have no idea what the hell he said the second time. And maybe it's not even the fact that he said anything. Maybe it's not even what he said, but just the fact that he was talking about Morgan and their marriage to someone else, which, like I said, if that's her problem, that he's not allowed to speak about his marriage to anybody else without her permission, then this is going to be a very, very difficult relationship. I think that's exuding too much control on another human adult for you to try to dictate what can be said and to whom. So she's still mad about that. And, Dr. Pia was like, oh, that's very, what did she call it? She told Ben that was very vicious or something. The fact that you would lie about your wife. You're telling lies about your wife. And I was like, what lies did he tell? Morgan said he lied about me. He goes around lying about me. Okay, the first time we handled that, he apologized. You accepted his apology. You're ready to move on. So if you were not ready to really move on from that first thing, what are we doing then? And if you did move on from that first incident, then what was said at the second incident that was so horrible? What the hell was said? So that's when Dr. Pia was like, oh, that's just so vicious that you're lying about your wife, or whatever word she used. And I don't know what the hell he said. I don't know if he talked about her not being a nurse again. I have no idea. And so then, Ben says, I apologize, or I apologize. And then Morgan was like, you didn't apologize. It wasn't genuine. Look. Morgan, I'm tired. I'm tired, Morgan. I'm so sick and tired of this. So he apologized, but you felt like it wasn't genuine enough. How do you know? You don't know this man. You just met him and you don't even live with him. So how do you know what is genuine about Ben and what is not genuine about Ben? How do you know? We saw him apologize on camera. I don't know if it was genuine or not, but the man apologized. How are you going to gauge whether or not it was genuine? How are you going to determine that? He's a stranger to you. It's not like you've known him your whole entire life so that you can figure out if he's being genuine or not. How do you know that? It seems sincere enough to me when you threw the damn roses down and he was like foaming up the damn mouth, apologizing so hard. He was foaming at the mouth. So she wants him to apologize again, but with feeling. I mean, are you like freaking a director in a movie? Do it again, but with feeling this time. Get out of here. So he has to apologize again. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to mention with, okay, why did Lindy call Mitch, called him out of his name like that? When she called him the B word. You know, the word that rhymes with Mitch but starts with a B. Why did she do that? That made no sense to me. I thought that was mean. I thought it was kind of mean. Lindy talked about, Kristen and Mitch have this roller coaster relationship. I can't figure them out. They're up, they're down, they're hot, they're cold. And then she called him, she called him that. Why would she do that? Morgan wants another damn apology. The girls are like, yeah. I don't know what the girls were saying. I don't know if they were trying to say that, forget about it because he'll never say. I don't know what they were saying. And then we talked about Alexis and her vision of marriage being fun all the time. And that's about it. I don't think I have anything else to mention. Oh, Nate doesn't like Alexis at all. He says, what did he say about Alexis? He says she's very gossipy. She gossips a lot, and now she's going out every weekend to the clubs. He don't see it for her at all. Nate said that he's not really sure where he's at. No, not Nate. Mitch. Mitch said he's not really sure where he's at with Kristen, and he says that Kristen wants very specific things from him before she can say yes on decision day. Good luck on that. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's my review of Married at First Sight. I've kept y'all here way too long. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. And if you like this content, please subscribe. And I will definitely talk to you later.